Hello dear viewer, I'm leesusss, and welcome back to Planet Crafter. I'm hungry apparently. Quite annoyed with myself. I've committed one of the worst crimes that I can consider in making my videos, which is I've lost footage. And it's a pain to backtrack, but also I feel bad that I've lost it. The trouble is my video files are so large that when I delete them, sometimes they've gone forever. Windows, being stupid, refuses to put them in the recycle bin. They're just gone. Okay, so I've lost some footage and I have to try and work out what I've lost. So we're going to run around this episode. We'll try to get some other stuff done, but I think we're going to run around this episode and try to catch up on some of the bits I've missed. And I'm sincerely apologise. I'm really, really sorry for that. It really frustrates me when it happens. Okay, and it's also been quite a while since I've played, so let's start with that. Okay, right. First of all, I don't think I've showed you this place. Again, apologies if I'm catching up on things that you've already seen, but I'm having trouble looking through my old videos and remember what I did. They used to have a factory here, a little factory here for processing goo. Yes, I've upgraded it a little bit. I've turned it into more of a factory. So this takes all of the materials from, like, you know, dirty water and the like, and turns it into the various components that you can. It's all jammed up right now. I guess something's like not working right now. Something's full, and we're processing all the different bits and pieces to make this stuff. You know, the various face creams and everything else from here. And they then get dropped. This huge room up here is just full of, like, the various components, because the toxin cleanup makes so much material. It's hard to manage. But essentially, I'm making things like pristine mushrooms in different factories using other mushrooms, bits and pieces like that, and then turning them all into, how many have we got now? This lot. So we've nearly got enough of these. We need a few more. We need 25, I think. And we can stop all this and we can repurpose the various products, the various machines downstairs into making other things from there. What is actually missing right now? What are we missing on these? I can't remember. We're obviously missing one key component. Something's not being processed. It's probably not. I've got a guess here, which is that... Oh, I know what you need more of. It's the purification capsules. It's these. We're completely full of these is the problem, and turn them into the next gel, and probably this is probably full as well. Yeah, we've got too many. If I clear out some of these, everything will start moving again. Anyway, let's not worry about that for now. That's not important at the moment. That's what I did to make things more efficient. And to say we can do things once these are done, we can turn these machines to making more useful stuff for us as well. Right. Next thing is I never finished this for you, which is my biggest upset, because I was very happy running through this to make it all work for you, and so we can see around this place, an exploration of the prison, and we've missed it all. Well, I remember it vaguely. You've missed it all, which is a real shame. So what I did was, I unlocked this place, which required a series of pass cards. So various doors like this needed pass cards. So what I did was, I by searching around, you would slowly find those, and oh, for goodness sake, and progress through here. And it's a really grim place. I think this video has only just gone out, even though I recorded it a couple of weeks ago. Looking around this prison from in here. So if I show down here, what we in fact have, we have some sort of processing room, and we have medical labs that are talking about, you know, how people are getting sick, people are getting worse and worse, the sheer amount of pollution. We've got guard rooms, things like that as well. I think I've cleared out all of these now. Yeah, I found lots more of the safes with various things in them. That's back into the main area again. See, these rooms, once you start to progress through them, you can unlock more and more of the areas. Right, let's just take you through to here. what I want to show you. That leads back out again. Hold on a second. See, it's been a while since I've played, so I've now forgotten everything about where everything was. I'm getting to the point now as well, but I'm just leaving stuff because I simply have too much materials, which is a wonderful problem to have. But there we go. So here we have a sort of panopticon looking over the main area, which down here on this side, these are all just cells that people are living in. So we know we're a prisoner, yeah? We've been, and our sensors have been commuted to us terraforming this planet. Well, there are many other people that were here as well, and they were also living in these prisons here. And they're saying about, you know, how sad they are and the rancid smell and the pollution as it gets worse and worse. It's a very sad place. When I finally realised this was actually an actual prison. I mean, here we have like the canteen room that's been slowly overtaken, and I think you can see how many prisoners were here, and also the number of prisoners that were here versus the number of cells shows they were really jammed in. There were a lot of people here doing this work, presumably now all dead. One of the other things I discovered in here as well, though, is that this is like a little secret room down here. I think this might be one of the last places people retreated to, the prisoners or whatever. They were like they're placing their destiny in a higher power, and camping out in here like there's beds on the floor. Oh, a harvesting robot. And I think what they were worshipping was this. And if you've played Prime, the Prime version of the game, you'll recognise this as like one of the. We haven't seen any signs of the previous species that lived here, the intelligent species that used to live on these planets. This is the only evidence we've found on this planet of these creatures. But that's what it looks like. It looks like, and we found lots of these, like whole temples and rooms on Prime containing things like this. And it looks like this is a little fragment of something here. And these guys, in their desperation, will worship it and asking for salvation, which presumably didn't come. So yeah, so most of this place was interesting to search through to a degree. You know, the horrors of the corporate prison that it basically is. But beyond that, we didn't find anything special in here. A lot of fabric, a lot of basic materials. Well, different levels of materials in here. So this is now done. Okay, this place is searched. I powered it up using the cells. The rail is now working. I haven't actually used the rail network yet because I'm quite frankly too fast just walking around. But we've searched around in here. We've got all the goodness out of it that we can out of this place. Oh well, nature's slowly taking this place back, which is fine. Yeah, it makes much more sense now. You think about it as a prison. It makes much more sense with the structure, doesn't it? Really, with the fact that it's it's a compound out here, and there's guard towers and guard trucks and everything else. Yeah, pretty grim. We haven't been over this way yet, though. I have put in a Type 3 miner in various places, including around here. Is it a Type 3 or a Type 4? I haven't got a Type 3 over here yet. I was wrong. Type 3s, you can specify what ore you want to extract, and it will only take out that ore. So in a number of places around the map, I've got things like, over here I've got things like sulfur collectors that are only collecting sulfur, and things around those areas as well. In the key areas that I need to, as far as that goes. Right, okay, so we've got a supply of obsidian coming in, and quite frankly, most of our resources, we have more than enough of most of them. So what was the next step that I went on to from there? Well, this is about 2 videos probably you've missed worth, I'd imagine, from here. The next step from here, I'm continuing to clean this place up. This is incredibly polluted water. 2,500. Why it's quite so polluted, I don't know, but it is. So I've got 5 of these working away, and then shipping the various dirty water and stuff back to the main base to be cleaned up. So, other progress. An upgrade to the T2 butterfly farm. So it's basically a bigger version versus the other one. What's good about these upgrades, and a lot of the upgrades that happen in the later stages of the game, I'm going to inhale a butterfly, that's right, is that you tend to find when you break down the previous one, you only need to add a couple of components. Half of the components you need for the new thing, the new product, like the Type 2 butterfly farm, half of it comes from the previous product. You said to add like a couple more materials and you make it. So it's quite efficient from there. Other things that I've made, so genetics, we started to mess around with the higher organisms. By which I mean frogs. So let's have a look on here. Where was I doing this? In here. So now, in here you can see we can make different frog eggs and things from here, which is, you know, playing around with mutagens and the like to make different frogs. And in fact, once you've made said frogs, you can put them into little frog farms like this. See, there we go. And it produces the Aeolus frog eggs. There we go. And this machine here makes... does a bit of pressure, does a bit of energy, does a bit of plants, does a bit of animals as well. There you go, you can see a bit more clearly like that. And like with the butterflies and everything else, frogs are multipliers from here. But you might be saying, hold on a second, how are you making frogs' eggs? Well, if I find a good location to show you, just, yeah, examples like this. So you'll find little pools like this that are around the area. And I've already taken the ones from here, but you'll often find just generic frog eggs lying around on these as well, and you can grab those and then you can go back and genetify them. However, in certain places you don't need to. So here we are in the cave, the deep cave, where the big tree is, the big fungus tree that is attracting people in an unhealthy way. Two things happen down here. First of all is, let's see if we can find some frogs. But also we might find some other stuff down here as well. Big slope of water. It's looking much better now, much healthier down here now as well, isn't it? Here we are, the little buggers. So this is what's the species of this? I can't remember. Toxic something frog? And these frogs live down here, so certain frogs will live in particular environments. And these little guys will drop their own eggs, not the generic frog's eggs, but the toxic whatever frog egg that they actually are. And those are a massive boost compared to the rate. You can probably make them as well, but they are far better than most of the frogs that you can make around the area. It's like you could find special butterflies in certain places in the Prime game. Unfortunately, I don't think the frog eggs regenerate from around here, which is a little annoying, but you can occasionally find them by searching around. You'll find another pool that has these on there. And I think as we can clean up more of this underground area, because there are other areas that we haven't been to yet underground, we'll find more of those frog eggs, and they're just they're a gimme, aren't they? They're a free better egg type that you can then use to populate your frog farm. So I wonder if there's any down here. There might be. I don't know how much we've cleaned up down here or not. This leads back into the main river under the monorail, doesn't it? There might be some frogs around here as well, but I'm not sure. Anyway, if I spot some later and I don't manage to delete the recording like an idiot, I'll show you those later. The other thing I was finding down here in the cave was, remember the cosmic? Was it the cosmic crystal globes or whatever they are? What are they called? Here we are, cosmic quartz. So you might be able to make these in the future. They probably are a very late stage manufacturing thing. You probably mix like one of each of the other crystals together to make one of these, don't you? These are probably used in like very end game constructions. I found these growing out of the ground in the deep cave where the big mushroom tree is. They seem to be a little bit like the zeolite and the some of the rarer plants from Prime in that you just find them, okay, and they're one-off. You collect them for now. You grab the ones that you can, and that's it. You've got them, or you don't, and maybe you can make them later. But that's where I found those. And then the other thing I was trying to think of was the frog, wasn't it? So there we go. These guys here, the Toxifia. Where are the actual frogs? Are they blending into the ground? Oh, here we go. Look, Toxifia frogs. So these ones here, these are the ones that we're finding the eggs of deep in the underground cave. I said you probably can make them, but these are like 1,000-time multiplier, and the nearest comparison is probably the golden frogs, which are only 600%. And there's various other varieties as well. There's like these green ones over here, and there's some blue ones and some red ones. You can see a lot of them over in this area over here, the swamp area. The frogs love it round here. You've got every variety of frog you can imagine over there, apart from the really rare ones. Also over here is we have the ecosystem, and this thing, amongst other things, makes plants and insects and all the rest of it. It also, you can't see any in here, it makes larvae. The reason these ones are white is because it will make any variety of larvae. I don't think it can make the really rare ones. It certainly makes a lot of different ones from in here. So in fact you can see where the drones have been storing them. All this variety have been coming out of that machine. Okay, even silkworms and things like that as well. I mean, most of these are pretty crappy ones. But in fact, if you want to, if you really feel like it, let's take one of these. Hold on. Oops, I'm caught between the banisters. Remember this, the deconstructor? There might be some squelching as I do this. You can turn them back into their component parts again. And why that's important, you might, that's very silly. But of course, remember, with the way the butterflies and things like that are made, is that you can throw together different components, and what you get out isn't always guaranteed. So you might get a slightly crappy version of a larvae come out, or you might get a really good one. Is this useful? I mean, by the time you get to the ecosystem, you could already make like really cheap, really high quality cheap butterflies anyway. But I don't know. It's fine anyway. I mean, if you want to make a sudden production run of loads and loads of butterfly farms, you can, and just you've got free larvae just to shove in there as far as that goes. So I think I've caught us up on everything from here. I was starting to do some more things with fish eggs, but I can do that. I can maybe do that later. Come back to that a bit later, like collecting fish eggs. What we are heading towards is animals. So we're not a million miles away from making animals and things from there. And for that, you need things like genetic extractor and a genetic synthesizer. Now you've probably seen, I've been lucky enough in the past to pick up genetic traits and things like that from there. And you use these in some way to make animals, but I don't really know that yet. I've not investigated that part. I'll come on to that later. I know we can do this, which harvests organic items, by which we mean you can get it to harvest rare larvae from certain areas. I think it's only larvae right now is what it harvests. But yeah, you can see certain areas are better for rare or uncommon. That's the uncommon, isn't it? That's the rare ones. You could put one of those machines down, and it will harvest from those locations, which is very nice. I don't know if it does fish eggs and things like that as well. Possibly not. I don't know. Frog eggs. It'd be really good if it did, because you just put one down here and collect frog eggs from around here. But I'm not going to worry about that for now. I think my brain is spinning so much and I've forgotten so much of what I was doing. Probably what's good for me is if I just do what we originally came here to do, which is some cleanup. I've been neglecting cleanups, all the exciting scenery and stuff around here. I've been neglecting some of the basic cleanups. So I think what I'll do, I'm going to restart the factory, the toxic factory over here. I'm going to put up some more storage in here and free up some of the machines that are stuck because they can't process the materials that they have. And then we're going to go over there and we'll do some very quick, simple cleanups. around the place. So around here, we might just go east to west. Let's do these ones, and then we'll do this. Oh, more frog eggs, and then this one. And when we get bored of doing some of the cleanups around here, we'll go back to do some more genetics. Yeah? How about that for a plan? Okay, I've reset up the factory running. It was really the purification gel and the purification cartridge or whatever that was causing the problems from there. So I've freed that up. And in fact, also we're lacking microplastics. Not enough. The only way you get microplastics is by processing goo. And I was turning microplastics into rods for simple storage, but in fact, really, it's best not to do it at all. It's just to leave it, because then the face cream gets made from that. This is a nice easy one, I think, to clean up over here though. We can do this, and this will get us some more goo. Do I want to use a... Do I want to get... I've got some spare containers over here, in fact. Spare goo containers? Should we go? We might just go and grab those. 1 second. Which way am I going? Over this way. Over here. Yeah, where we were originally cleaning up... Oh, look at this, look. Where we were cleaning up the pool over here, I've got some containers lying around. By the way, that is the next stage of aquarium. So when I made some newer fishes, rather than the little glass aquarium in the top of my base, I've got like 3 different sorts of fish eggs I made in here. Just splooshing, splashing around in here. And over here we have... Still collecting phytoplankton for me. And here, I haven't put anything in there yet. This was the last thing I was doing. I was making fish farms. So these... you put a fish inside here, and that will produce more oxygen plants and insects. And this is being actually useless right now because it hasn't got any fish in it. But there you go. This is what happened when I stopped doing something part of the way through. Yeah. Well, that's fine. These should be empty. They are. So we can grab both of these. I think those toxic areas over here are quite small compared to the others. So it'll be probably quite easy to clean up. Oh, I must have... That was one of the ones I was climbing up, wasn't it? Look. You can see the city scaffolding up there. And I was looking up to see if I could find anything up there. Grab these mush as well. I'm still finding occasionally toxic mushrooms that toxic spores that I've missed from before. Just lying around. Right, if we put this down here, we can now make generic frog's eggs. Good, we'd have to just go out and find them anymore. We can actually make them. What is it? 17 pieces. I really should have cleaned this up earlier, shouldn't I? It's not that bad at all, is it? It's really quite low toxicity around here. Where's all the goo then? But I want to get, I want to get this stuff done properly. We're kind of oh, a super alloy rod. We're mostly there. I don't even want these anymore because I've got too many. I've got too many riches. We'll take things like that. Yeah, that's rare. What else have we got here that's rare? These I can't even spend them right now. I think the only way I'm going to unlock that rocket, if something doesn't change, is I shall have to... nothing new in there, is there? I shall literally have to fly back to Prime, clean up Prime to a degree where I get the rocket unlocked, and then go from there. I think that's the only way I'm going to be able to deliver my the things I'm making. What have we got here? A bunch of new stuff. Again, I've never looked in here, so that some of these are more valuable than you'd normally expect. But I'm happy to clean this place up, just to make it all nice around here. Get all the scenery, and get all the plants growing through. You can see how lovely it is. And who knows what else might turn up around here, as far as, changes in scenery. Yeah, really, no, I'm not wanting for anything except the most rare materials. I can always come back for these. Ah, here it is. Here's the last of it. Good stuff. And because of the nature of how much we've cleaned up the world, and how quickly these things change. We immediately get a big change around, and the ground will take a bit longer to... Oh no, it is coming in. It's coming in fairly fast. Faster than I expected. Yeah, it'll take a bit longer for the plants to come through, but they'll start coming through. The ones that are already here, you can see benefits from them straight away. Let's dump all this stuff into here, and then we can just do supply everything, and the drones can come and get that. Right, where's the next one? Look at these. Have we seen these? Have we seen these before? I think we have, haven't we? They're very much like the, you know, make me think of the toxic spores. I wonder if the toxic spores are a mutation, and whatever that is there. What we got here? Another... Oh, just 9. Oh my god. Why did I never do this before? I'm so lazy. I'm just distracted by other shiny stuff going off, you know? Shiny things distracting me. Oh, now this might be a good place to find some frogs turn up. Let's see what happens. There'll probably be general frogs, like normal generic ones, but you never know. We don't know what other biomes will produce. I was hoping the swamp would produce something other than generics, but that's all we're getting so far. Where the heck is it? Well, there's some containers of some sort over there. Have a look at those in a minute. Oh! I got an increased reading for a second there. Ah, it's over this way somewhere. Is it on top of there? No. Ah, look, it's up. No, I didn't. Oh my god. I didn't even see the gigantic machine up here. Yeah, it's obviously got. It was obviously on the ground and got pushed up by the plant growth. And what's in here then? Anything exciting in here? Not really. Messages still be nice. I always like to see messages. Oh! An energy multiplier. That is valuable. Okay, those are still valuable. Like the chaos of what this has caused in here. Absolute bloody wreckage. We'll have those. Machine flipped over. Have that as well. What else have we got here? Rocket engines and things. Again, I've got a cupboard full of those. Let's have a sip of the water then. If we look over here... Anything turning up here? Maybe a bit too soon for frogs to be turning up here. No? Yeah, I guess it makes sense for only having a small amount of pollution over here. I mean, this seems to be like the water supply has been contaminated, hasn't it? And that's why there's pollution around here. But this isn't like a centre of industry. It was a little bit from the machine up there, but otherwise not very much. Alright, let's do the last one over this way, which I think is just around... Oh, but I'll have a look at those containers as well. Goodies are lying around over here. If I don't really need them, I can't help but be interested in looking. What is this? Just barrels dumped out in the wilderness. Very good, guys. Very good. Very safe. Very efficient. This is kind of getting towards the edge of the map on this side as well. What do we got up here? Have we been to this one already? No, just looks like it's a storage up here. Valuables. Oh. And a collection of toxic spores lurking away in the back there. Nah. Right, where's this last? Just checking there's nothing down there. Nothing sneaky hidden down. Got the beanstalk. Climb the beanstalk. Very good. Oh god. If only I known there would be beanstalks. That would make my climbing these rock things much easier. Nothing up here though. Right, where's this last bit of pollution? Aha, behind me. What was that? Is that like an axle from one of the big vehicles? One of the big Jawa things? Maybe not, I don't know. No, more like an antenna or support of some sort. Being ripped apart by that plant anyway. What would be really amazing, it's asking too much of the game and the developers, but would be that if it started out and the plants weren't here. Oh, where's my vehicle, by the way? I've lost it somewhere. If the plants weren't here at all, and as soon as you've done the cleanup and they started to grow through, and then you saw them, you know, slowly push those things up in real time, that would be amazing. I mean, you couldn't do that, that would be too much, but it would be incredible if you could. See nature reclaiming itself. Poison Ivy would be so happy. Okay, here's the mess. As usual. Oh. It's a rover and probably another one of those big Jawa vehicles around here somewhere, big driller thing. Now, one of the other things I did unlock that I've never played with yet, I'm not sure how useful it actually is logistics on the vehicle. Where did I park it? I should really put the thing on it. There it is over there. I should really put the beacon on it so I know where it is at all time. You can now do logistics on the vehicle. So here you can ask it for supply of various bits and pieces. Now I'm not really sure how useful that is. I presume it calls drones in to do the bits and pieces from there, but is that useful? I don't know, because you don't want your vehicle full of, you know, food, or maybe you could just fill it with oxygen. I don't know how you would use that at this late stage in the game, when logistics for the vehicle becomes unlocked. It's a bit late. It's academic, really. I don't see what the point of. What would you want to put in your vehicle? And like just keep a. And of course, you're not going to. You can't ask for one. You will say, drones, please give me all of that you have of this type of object. What would you want in your rover? Of that sort. I don't know. I think it's an upgrade that has not been considered. It's been done, but you didn't really think how useful it might be. Oh, did we get it? We just cleaned the area up. I think we did. Anything new and sparkly up here? We've got completely useless, because we've now unlocked all blueprints that are possible. I will take the mutagen. Mutagen is rare. It is a little bit more of a pain to make. Oh, I'll have that as well. Oh, didn't seem happy about the climbing there. Animal food. I've not made any animals yet. I guess the animals are on their way. We can fiddle around with that next time. I guess we've cleaned the area. Let's have a look. Yes, we have. Now I think next episode probably what we'll do is we'll head over here and get this cleaned up as well. And that is most of the eastern part of the map done. At the north and eastern. We've just got these bits around here. These might be a bit more complicated. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching. Again, really sorry for like the loss of footage. It really upsets me when it happens. It doesn't happen very often. It does occasionally. It's usually It often is recoverable, but not in these cases. I think I just made a boo-boo in deleting something, or like I didn't quite check the file properly, or something like that. I don't know. It was a cock up, and there's just no way of doing anything about it. I cycled too many large files through to be able to to be able to make up for it and recover from that situation. Any frogs around here? Special frogs around here? No? Yeah, there was just no way of recovering from it. I'd recorded too many episodes of Talos Principle that would probably have, overwritten some of the areas or things like that. It's what happens when you're cycling, gigabyte-sized files through things. Anyway, there we go. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself, and I hope I'll see you again next time.